was that? What was that? Absolute shambles of a performance, man. I'm so glad I stayed my black ass indoors and didn't spend £30 on a ticket, £30 or £40 on petrol, and wasted a good 5 or 6 hours driving there and back to Carrow Road because I would have been absolutely more pissed than I am now. That performance was woeful. Titus Shambles defending at its prime premium best, and we've made this Pookie guy, Gucci guy, whatever you want to call him, look like the real deal player. We made him look like Brazil FC. Brazil FC. Just because they're playing in yellow doesn't mean they should be playing like Brazil or making them look like Brazil. But we've done that. You would struggle to think who is the £40 million player here out of Joe Linton and Pookie. Now, no disrespect to Norwich City fans. You know, you've just come up. You've not spent anywhere near the amount of money that we spent. And that's going to say a lot because we spend hardly anything. But this season, we've got no excuses. Yes, you can take the Perez deal into consideration, but we spent a fair bit on a £40 million striker, defenders, midfielders, wingers, you name it, new manager, even though he's not really wanted here. And yet we perform like that? And this is supposed to be our 3.1 point banker? Or what was it? Trying to nick a point? We were nicking nothing, bruv. We weren't nicking nothing at all. That was absolute terrible. We had no clue. All the gear, no idea, sums it up to a T, bruv. And Rafa's watching this thinking, you don't want to pay me my 8-9 million? Okay, cool. Enjoying his whatever his cocktails in China, whatever he does. You know what I mean? And Rondon, bruv. The thing is though, we've seen what we could have in a number 9 in Rondon last season. Unplayable on his day. So far, I've not seen it from Joe Linton. You're not giving me Hibs away or home wherever we played them, and a goal elsewhere, and you're telling me that's a £40 million striker. Sorry, but no. Feigned an injury, in my opinion. Wanted to get off, and that's it. Nah, didn't fancy it. And then Pookie, on the other hand, looked like the £40 million striker that we should have had. In fact, it looks like our £40 million strikers are lost in the post because to play like that, Mr. Sitter just had no chance of holding up anything, and then obviously came off with an injury. Nah, shambles, bruv. And yeah, we got our consolation goal, but listen, I'm not caring about that, bruv. Who could tell me that someone who's walked off of that pitch said, yeah, he put in a performance? I don't care if Shelby scored, bruv. I don't really care, bruv. You know, I'm glad to see him in the team, but our performance is dead. And the thing is, that was the one game at the first 6 or 7 where we're thinking to ourselves, we can actually get something from this. We actually thought confidently we could get something from this with our chest. And then we get turned over like that, 3-0. We perform worse against Norwich City, who've just come up, than we did against Arsenal, who spent 70 odd million on a winger / striker. Go figure. This guy needs to get out of here. Bruce, no, in fact, stay your black and white bottom in Norwich. In fact, don't come back, bruv. Just stay there, man. Stay there, bruv. I know you got ties to the club or whatever as a player. Stay there. They can find something for you. And we'll bring Chris Hughton back. We'll bring Alan Pardew back. Anyone. You know what? No, I was about to say joking there, but that's gone too far. That is just shambles, bruv. I don't even think I'm overreacting. 2 games in, I can't see anything going right for us at the moment. I can't. You can't say, wait till this person comes back, or we're still waiting for this person. No, we've got no excuses, bruv. We've got no excuses. We've got a £40 million striker on the pitch. We've got a bench full of defenders. We got a whole back 4 on the bench. A whole back 4. One attacking option in Mutu. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing enough. I don't care what you're telling me about pre-season. He did this, he did that. Nah. Because Joe Linton did something in pre-season and you're telling me that's a £40 million striker. Nah, sir. That's the second coming of Riviere, bruv. That is the second coming of Riviere, and I know it. I can see it with my eyes. I'm not blind, you know. That felt better. But still, it's not good. In fact, let me go a bit further. We made Grant Hanley look like the prime John Terry. No goals conceded for Grant Hanley today. Nothing. Nada. In fact, no real problems. No real problems for Grant Hanley. And we dismissed him as soon as we got out the championship. And we made him look like the boss, bruv. How is that? Now, Lascelles should be going into that dressing room and did exactly what he did against Southampton. Go in there, ripping everyone a new one, including the coaching staff, because putting us out there to lose like that to a team that's just come up. Fair enough, is getting torn against Man City or Liverpool or something of that caliber. But Norwich City, sorry, Norwich City fans, and you probably think I'm disrespectful, but I'm not. But you're thinking to yourself, if you're in our shoes, should we be getting like that, beaten like that on the road? We weren't getting beaten like that under Rafa. Yes, we might lose games and all the rest of it now. But we're not getting beat 3-0 and making a guy that, I don't even know how much he spent on that Pookie guy, but we made him look like prime Ronaldo. Prime Ronaldo, as I said before, you would struggle to think that Joe Linton is the £40 million striker out of the two players. Struggle! Why we... I don't know. As I said, Mike Ashley's got to take the biggest L on this one. The biggest L. Because if you're spending £40 million on this player and you're thinking that you're going to get a return on this player, but you can't spend £60 million on Rondon and get a healthy return last season, probably would have got this season as well, and a couple more seasons as well. You're mad. And I thought you were supposed to be a smart businessman. And you thought training up Rafa because he wanted more money because he did well in his job for a guy that struggles in the Championship. Aston Villa fans told us that we would struggle with him. Sheffield Wednesday fans told us that we would struggle with him. But yet we still get him what? Because he's a Geordie. Get out of here, bruv. Sting's a Geordie. Jimmy Nail's a Geordie. Cheryl Cole's a Geordie. But would I want any of them managing my club? No. What are we doing? You know what? The two words I'm going to put out there. Bruce out. Bruce was never even in. Bruce was even accepted. I didn't even want Bruce here when he got announced, bruv. So I'm keeping that same energy, bruv. Unless you're willing to change, unless you're willing to, Bruce, if you're watching this, if you're willing to go out to China or whatever, sit down with Rafa and say, boss, you better call Rafa boss as well. How do I coach these players? How do I get the best out of these players? Or you get your ass out of this club, because if you love this club that much, you get your ass out of this club, then I don't want to hear about it, bruv. And you know what? My money is going to stay exactly where it needs to stay, in my pocket, in my bank account, because I don't want to spend no more money watching this club under Steve Bruce playing like that. Unless we can change up the regime, the idea, the tactics, something, no. No one's getting no more money out of me from that club watching that, because that was an absolute shambles. I'm trying to think of a positive out of that. Barring the consolation goal where Norwich was like, you know what, you travelled all this way, have a little goal here. And Tim Krul's probably still pissed. Tim Krul probably did us a favour, innit? Still a Geordie at heart. He's probably, you know what, boys, I'll allow you on this one. Here you go. I don't really need that clean sheet as much as you guys need that goal. Here you go. That's it. That's probably what it was. Match fixing, but hey, let that one slide, innit? Now we got Spurs up next. Spurs that dick on everyone. Champions League finalist Spurs. Spurs who just spent 70 odd million on a new midfielder, new stadium, all the rest of it, bruv. Spurs. We lost 3-0 to Norwich City, who just got promoted. Imagine the massacre, the carnage. Newcastle fans, if you're travelling to that game, if you want to spend your money and then you're at that game and you're shouting anything expletive to Mike Ashley, you deserve it, bruv. I'm sorry, but you deserve it. Because, boy, if you travel to Norwich singing them things about Mike Ashley, but you're still spending money, it is what it is. Anyway, that's me. I feel much better now. I can now have a drink now. I relax. I've got everything I needed out. I'll probably still carry on a bit on Twitter, but at least I'm more relaxed now. I've got the best out of it out. Anyway, share your thoughts with me. Let me know what you think. Have I overreacted? Bearing in mind, this is straight after the final whistle. But at the same time, I think it's necessary because, boy, that was an hour and a half of my life I'll not get back. And what a waste of time that was.